risk to your sleepless nights.
So since promoters play an important role and are sometimes the most important deciding factor in making investments, Pawan, has your experience at Lilliput and Himadri made you more cautious now?
I think we therefore will learn from our history and experience in India, but I think we continue to be quite optimistic and quite active in terms of looking at new investments.
And what about your investments in Hero Moto? Auto sector is clearly not the flavor of the season.
As we look at Hero, it is a company that has built a terrific competitive position and brand in the country. Their products continue to be market leaders in the segments they're in. While the competition in that sector has increased, they've done well in terms of holding share. We're working with them to really invest in their R&D capability to make sure that they continue to launch new and successful models that will build on their brand and their share in the country, helping them expand to new export markets, which is something that they can now do, as well as continue to focus on their profitability and make sure that within that market context they have industry-leading margins. And so we're very happy with our investment at Hero. I think we have a great relationship with the management and the family there, and are excited for what it holds in the future.
Sanjeev, most of the times you're caught in the middle of transacting companies, private equity funds. How difficult are deal closures at this time?
So I think three factors. The first factor really is all the regulatory issues that have come up over the last 2 to 3 years. Equity investors do fret over what that means to their returns, etc. all the time, whether it is a tax issues and others. So I think that's something that is a huge focus, and that invariably takes time because you're negotiating with the counterparty. I think the second issue really has been in terms of getting a deal done, and there you're doing much more work than you were doing in 2006, 7 and 8. I think there's a lot of diligence which is done on the promoter and the background checks. The diligence itself has actually got extended. You need to be 100% sure about the company, considering again all the governance issues that we have experienced, and the bad experiences, if I may say so, that the private equity investors have happened. So they really are spending much more time getting comfortable with an asset. And finally, I think even the investment committees and others are asking much more harder questions than they have in the past. So typically a deal is taking, I would say, almost double the time than it used to take in 2006, 7 and 8 for these three factors. But I'm very positive about it. I mean, this is the way it should have always been the case. And I think what we have now is the more optimal approach to investing.
All right, point taken. And Pawan, I will let you have the last word. Do you agree that things will look better in the second half of 2014?
I think I would say we are cautiously optimistic. If you would ask me that question 6, 7 months ago, the first half of this year, I think activity was quite slow, and so the outlook was probably not as bright. I think the last 6 months have actually been better than expected. You've seen a number of large deals. You mentioned some that have closed, and different players have been able to deploy reasonably sized capital. I think rolling that forward, obviously there are some uncertainties over the next year, election being a big one. But we remain cautiously optimistic that I think this will be a good and interesting vintage to be investors in India. And I think if you can find the right opportunities and the right partners, hopefully it'll make for great investments.
So the verdict is out this year. We do see a flurry of private equity deals, and given that the street is more optimistic about the second half of 2014, it has the potential to surpass the deals sealed in the previous year. And gentlemen, I will hold you all to this. Thanks for your insights, and thanks to our viewers for joining us.